This video is a hard video to do. It's a hard video because it's finally admitting to myself that Arsenal are just a broke club, and they always have been. I've just been head in the sand trying to deny to myself that Arsenal have money. They just don't wish to spend it. But that's not the truth. Arsenal are broke. I'm Ty Knight here for TK24 Sports. If you're new to the show, like, subscribe, turn that notification on so you don't miss a show every time we upload. This is it. Arsenal are a broke club. When I say that, in terms of they're broke compared to the likes of a PSG, a Real Madrid, Bayern Munich to a degree, and Manchester City, a Chelsea, even, I'm not even going to say Manchester United no more because they are broke, and you can see that with the way they're run by Sir Jim Ratcliffe. But Arsenal are a broke club. They've never been a club that has ever challenged in the transfer market, let alone the league or Europe for that matter. And it drives me crazy when I say we get to a January transfer window and Arsenal are short, and yes, they need to go out and buy the players to push on. When it comes to the summer transfer windows, they are always short of players. They're short of money. They're short of being able to recruit players and let alone sell players at the same time. And what drives me crazy even more is when you go onto Twitter, then now it's called X, and you just keep on seeing players linked with Arsenal. And in my heart, I'm like, oh my God, can you imagine if this ever happens? But you know deep down inside they're not going to happen. This January transfer window 2025 is going to be the same old thing. Arsenal are not going to be able to buy the players. You keep on talking about loan moves. They're just not going to buy the players because they are broke. And they're broke because of poor spending. They're broke because they haven't been able to produce great youth players to be able to sell them on for a profit. They are broke because the model that they have inside, they haven't been able to capitalize on their off-field performance, which is the merchandising. Now, people will say, Ty, they're releasing merchandise all the time. That is correct. But that's a deal that they've done with Adidas, that they have to release a certain amount of merchandise every single 2 months. Because that's what they bought into. So, yes, it's great that Arsenal keep on releasing merchandise, but it's not them. It's Adidas. Adidas are the ones who are pushing because Adidas are the ones who gave them the bag. That's how it works. But Arsenal as a whole, they have owners who have put money into the club in the sense of when they took full ownership, they started weeding the money out for buying up, pretty much buying up contracts. And those big contracts that Arsenal are still paying off to this day. Your Mesut Ozil, your Aubameyangs, your Socrates, all those players they've had to pay off. But we forget that, or fans sometimes forget that we've had to pay these players off, and that costs money. That comes out of your transfer kitty. But Mikel Arteta was handed a lot of money, and he has wasted a lot of money on certain players that he thought was going to make a difference. But with that, it hasn't made a difference, and now we're paying the price again going into this summer transfer that has happened for this start of the season, the 24 to 25 season. We saw we were short on players yet again, but he went out and bought a Calafiore, he went and bought a Marino as well, and has done next to nothing for this club. It really hasn't. So 2 players there, you could turn around and arguably say the 70 odd million has been a waste of money. You try to get Sesko, but Sesko didn't want to come because yet it's not because he wanted to stay an extra year, it's because you couldn't offer him first team football. And I repeated this in my last video. You could have got the striker that was needed more than the left back who's injured, more than the centre midfielder that you thought was going to make a difference and who's turned out to be, I'm sorry to use this word, but a waste of money. Let's just say a waste of money. I don't want to use other words because I don't want to come off as that person. But he's been a waste of money. Calafiore has been a waste of money. You look at MLS, Miles Lewis Skelly, and he's turned out to be a blessing in disguise. But that's a central midfielder who you've had to convert as a left inverted midfield, a left back, because Zinchenko's a waste of time. Kieran Tierney you don't trust. Ball Calafiore, who's actually a centre back, but then you wanted to invert him into a left back, who's only scored one wonder goal. But apart from that, he's looked suspect majority of the time. Marino has just looked suspect. He's a sloth. He can't run as quick as we need him to. He's got no acceleration. He's got no speed from a top end speed. His passing is questionable. He's not this ball winning midfielder that he was all labelled out to be online. He's far from all those things, and The same with Calafiori to a point where, okay, he looks okay. He scored that wonder goal against City. I was upstairs. I was jumping up and down. I was excited. Yes, I was. But he's constantly injured. Tomiyasu, another one, constantly injured. Jesus, broken glass man, constantly injured. Kai Havertz, he's got confidence issues, and you should have known that, Mikel Arteta, while spending 65 million on him to know that, oh, I'm going to make him the highest paid player. I hope he's going to be a Swiss Army knife. I wanted to play in midfield to take place of a Granit Xhaka, who, bearing in mind that people are slagging off Granit Xhaka, and now he's gone. That is a massive miss. You're telling me that Marino's better than him? You're telling me that Kai Havertz is better than him in midfield? No, he's not. But the only saving grace this season has come from the academy. Miles Lewis-Skelly, who's just outperforming above his years. But my point is this. Arsenal have never, ever gone out there in the transfer window and just gone crazy. They just haven't. You may say Declan Rice 100 million or 105, but that's not going crazy. That really isn't. That's like a one-off. Because now they're struggling to get into the pieces to finish off what Mikel Arteta started. Because he's blown the money. Arsenal are paying off Mikel Arteta's debts. In the sense of, they make these transfers, you've got to spread the payments over 3, sometimes 4 years, maybe a maximum of 5 years of contracts. And that costs a lot of money. That comes out each year. You've got to find the money to pay that money. You agree the terms, you pay the money. So every year, the club has to find that money. On top of that, find more money to go and buy new players. But on top of that, you've got to sell the players that you kind of got as well to keep revenue coming in. Then we got to have the off-the-field issues where we got to be more creative, doing these overseas tours, doing these other tournaments to get into to get a bit of money there. But the higher you finish in the league, you get more money. The further you go in the Champions League, you get more money. But that's also to pay for the club's wages, or to say the players' wages. As much as we could turn around and say that Mikel Arteta's paying 15 million a year to be the fall guy, to be the patsy, really he's not. He's just getting paid that money. That's what it is. If someone's going to offer you 15 million, you'll take it. You're not really the fall guy. It's just that's what you're worth, and they feel that's what he's worth. I don't think he's worth 15. I don't think he's worth 10. I let alone think he's worth 6 million because he hasn't yet won a significant trophy to command to be the second highest manager in the world. Now, I'm not saying he's not going to get another job should he be fired. He will get another job for sure. There'll be other clubs out there saying, I like what you've done at Arsenal. You turned it around. You turned the culture around. Here's a job. What fee do you want? I want 10 million. Okay, cool. Here's 10 million. So as much as I'm labelling Mikel Arteta's at fault here as well, but it's also the club's at fault as well, the way it's run. It's not about the owners. The owners have done their job. They've released funds. These owners are a bit different. But Arsenal as a whole in history, they don't really spend money. You can look at the past and say the Invincibles, how great they were. But back then, that was a different time. But Man United was still splashing out 30 million, 40 million at a time on players. And we were just doing, 15 million on Reyes at a time. Then remember Arsenal when he came, it was at 18 million. And we got excited about that. Then we went out and splashed a bit of money on Ozil. Woo! Last day of the transfer window. Oh my God, we got Ozil. But shit, we ain't got a striker. Oh yeah, and then all at the year where we bought Podolski and Giroud. But that was the same year that Van Persie left. And then when we bought in Aubameyang for 52 million, we went a bit crazy there because we were thinking we're never going to get a player like Aubameyang, but he comes in. And then there's times where Arsenal fans have also said, oh my God, we'll never get a player like a Thomas Partey. We bring Thomas Partey in. We just play the release clause. But traditionally, Arsenal do not go out and spend big cash. When it comes to January, there's no such thing as you can't get a player in January because you can get a player in January. It's just the position of the club at the time, how the player feels as well. There's so much to it to making a signing in January than it is in August. It's totally different. When it comes to the off-season, it's easy to do, and I hear what the clubs say, but I don't believe in January it's that hard. If you put the groundwork in from October onwards to January, you could be talking to the club constantly, talking to the player, looking at schools, looking at homes, looking at places to live in the area to make it easy and feasible to move in January. Then you talk to the club, to the selling club and say, look, this is what we want to do. That selling club understands what you want to do. You agree a fee. When it comes to January the 1st, bang, transaction's done. You don't leave until 3 weeks into the January transfer window trying to buy a player. Then you got to go for a loan because he messed up in the summer. But at the same time, as I say, Arsenal are broke. They are broke. Yeah, and that's the simple truth of it. And I've known this for ages. I've always known this for ages. So when we do sign a player, I'm like, my God, we signed someone. Who is it? Oh, okay. No big deal. Because they don't traditionally go for superstars. They don't. So I'm just here to say to you today, guys, as much as we keep on going online and looking and searching, don't look no more. Give it a rest. Give January. If you want to get a good 2025, give January a rest right now. This is a different video that I normally do, but give January a rest because it'll be better for you, and then the rest of the year will be better for you. But you're not going to do that. You're going to go back online. You're going to start moaning again and start saying Arsenal are not serious. Arsenal are rubbish. Arsenal don't mean business. They're not a big club. Arsenal are a big club. They just do things in the Arsenal way. Maybe you've heard that term before, but that's the truth of it. Arsenal are not signing no one in January. And don't be disappointed when it happens. I'm tying out here for TK24 Sports. Have a good day. My rant is over. And exhale. Have a good day.